cloud. I couldn't find it. That was terrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
And remember last time you only recorded video without sound or something?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that
Okay,
one.
gotcha.
I got it right last time, though.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, good. It's recording. All right. So, the topic I want to go over today is I want to share with y'all a strategy on how to communicate with your hot market. Okay, and this is your friends, your family, and I will share the scripts that I'm going to go over with you. I will copy and paste those into a document for y'all, so you don't have to like try and frantically write down the scripts that I'm going to go through in a little bit. So don't worry about that. But something that the lady that I have been working with, you know, she said once, and it really resonated with me. And that was, right now, when you picture your comfort zone, and sorry, you can't see me, Kathy, but it's a tight bubble around you, you know, and, you know, every day you want to stretch that bubble just a little bit more, just a little. It doesn't have to be something insane, but a little bit every day to make that comfort zone a little bit bigger. And you want to, if you are tenacious and persistent in growing, then you can make your comfort zone the size of your house, the size of Texas. It is absolutely all about being consistent. And we know that. I mean, you know, I know, like Julie and I, we've been success partners forever. And we always are like, consistency is key. And it's easier to be consistent when you're consistent. You know, like that book, because consistency is the new currency. You know, he's like, don't break the chain, you know, keep adding one link to the chain every day, and your chain gets stronger and stronger, and it all kind of applies there. So the reason why I start out with that is because, like I shared just a few minutes ago, I was not doing what needed to be done because I didn't like the process, and it was not authentic to me. And I mean, if there's anybody that knows me, they know I'm about as real as they get. Don't ask me a question if you don't want the answer. And so, you know, it's like, I got to figure this out in a manner that I'm comfortable with. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. And so, we're going to talk about conversations with our hot market. And I will go through the different markets. But before I jump in, I want to share this one thing. I heard someone say this. I think her name was Michelle Barnes. I'm not 100% sure, but it really resonated with me. She's so funny. And I'm sorry if I'm going to be looking down, but I do notes. Otherwise, we'll see all kinds of squirrels. But I heard someone say, she said, don't be a weirdo. Human and friend first, network marketer second. And, you know, it reminded me of a call that I listened to that Sarah Hine did. And she shared a story of how they were at her uncle's father's funeral. And as people were going through the reception line, paying their condolences, he's handing out business cards for his new business. And, you know, Sarah on the call was like, no, people. And that, you know, so you'll hear me say like weirdo, and that's what I'm talking about, you know, like, just don't be a weirdo, be human and friend first. You know, I had a gal that,
Hey, Kathy, are you touching your phone? Yeah. Are you touching your phone? Because like every 3 seconds, Tracy leaves the screen and a picture of your phone comes on the screen, like consistently every 3 to 4 seconds.
No, I am not touching my phone.
Or is there any?
It's probably background noise. Kathy, do you mind if I mute you? And do you know how to unmute yourself?
From the phone, I don't think I do.
Swipe left to right.
Oops. Whoops. I got out of the call here. There we go. Yep, I got it. I got the screen up. So go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to mute you. Thanks for pointing that out, Julie. Hopefully that'll help. So let's see, what was I saying? Oh, just
About the Sarah Hine call and not
Yeah.
to pass out business cards at a funeral.
right. Like, just don't be a weirdo. Oh yeah. And so I had, I was really excited to share Amare with Brooks's former English teacher. She's just so dynamic. And we had lunch for the first time. We'd never met. We went out to lunch, and both of our husbands told us separately, don't scare her off. And I told Tom later, you couldn't scare this woman. And Brooksy even said, oh gosh, no, you like that. She is crazy. And I was like, she's amazing. So anyway, but I introduced her to the business, and she got weird when I was following up with her. And so I actually took a video and sent it to her. And I was like, listen, I'm not a weirdo. Like, if you don't want to join this business, that's fine. Try the products. I know you want to, and like, let's be friends. And she sent me back and was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying that. So
what precipitated that? Why did you feel like you had to say that? Was there something that happened or something she said?
Her text was like, I was, hi honey, good morning. Hey, can you shut the door for me, please? I had followed up with her, and she said, I am very interested in trying the products. She has depression and anxiety. And she's like, I had presented, when she asked me about the products, I had offered the launch pack, because we've said that was something that we were going to do. And she's like, basically like, I'm starting a real estate business right now. And so I reassured her, hey, it's all good. So on to the hot market. So when I talk about hot market, I'm talking about like your super close friends, your family, where applicable, and those people that you have a really good connection with. And so I first want to review the different stages of conversation. All right. So picture a bullseye, and you are in the center of the bullseye. Okay. The next ring is your hot market. So your family and your close friends. And I understand that not all families are going to be like, yes, let me help you. But that's your hot market. The next ring on the bullseye, so now we're on the third ring, are those people that you know on Facebook, maybe friends from high school, people you haven't spoken to in a while, but reconnecting would not be difficult and it wouldn't seem like you were a weirdo. The next ring is your cold market. All right. Those are the people you don't know. They don't know you, but they're people that you're eventually going to want to try and connect with. And then, believe it or not, there is one more ring outside of your cold market. And we might not all have this ring, but Tracy does. And those are the people on the outer edge that you have burned out because maybe you were a little overzealous when you shared with them how excited you were about this new business you were doing, or regarding the products, the opportunity, what have you. And so that's like your burned out people, and we'll get to them eventually. So before I share these tips on how you can approach your hot market, I just want to share my strategy and thought process on how I'm going to approach it, because I think part of me sharing that is to point out, like, this is going to look different for everyone. All right. Like, this is a framework. It's not, it's a map, but you can take a detour. We all have our own story. We all have our own style. And so I'm sharing mine to encourage you to think of yours and what that would look like. So, I started out with Amare gangbusters. I was so excited. I already had a following, and I had a few people that signed up quickly. Whether they saw my vision or they had their own vision, or, they just really believed in the products. But this happens to so many people, and that is that things settle down I started getting more no's or no responses, which no responses in private messenger just make me crazy. And I just need to change my mindset on that. And I let myself get all weird in my head, and I took my foot off the gas. And here's the thing, like, that is when you should push harder. That speed bump right there is the speed bump to momentum. Okay. And that's not what I did. And so after taking my foot off the gas and letting myself get all weird in my head, I have struggled since. So I personally am going to use this strategy and kind of use it as a relaunch, since I'm currently revamping my brand anyways. I don't know exactly how this is going to play out for me, but that is kind of a bird's eye view of how I'm going to approach it, because a lot of like what you're going to hear me share is like I'm starting a new business, or, and so it's going to sound a little bit different for all of us and how we want to kind of spin that. So let's see. All right. So hot market stuff. First thing I want to share is some of the mistakes that people make, including me, believe me. I remember sharing, I had a conversation with Jeff Brakey, and that he coached me after I made this mistake. And I felt so stupid, not because of him, but I just realized that he was right. And that is, people get so excited.
Tracy, share who Jeff is for, I think Kathy might not know who he is.
Oh, Jeff is, he is one of the leaders in our upline and has a long history of success in network marketing. He's a great mentor, especially when it comes to recruiting. He's just so passionate and yeah. So, people, they get so excited and they get this high pitch to their voice and they go big. Like, this is going to be so awesome. We're going to make millions of dollars. I'm going to build a team and you're going to build a team and we're going to have residual income and we're going to retire and blah, 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 blah. And that person is like, what is happening? Because they don't see the opportunity like we do. They're not like, you have to let them build their own vision. And it can't be because and this is me, I'm not saying y'all, I mean, I literally was like, you're going to be so awesome. And we get so excited sharing with the people that we love that common sense just freaking flies out the window. And we've completely sabotaged ourselves with the people who would normally be very willing to support us. But we got to meet them in the middle on what that looks like, and I love that, in this training that I watched, she said, think about if you started a different kind of business, like a dance studio. When you go to tell people about the dance studio, would you be like, oh my gosh, I'm starting this new business. I'm opening a dance studio. It's going to be so awesome. You should totally do it with me. You open one, we'll each get 5 students. We'll build from there. Like, no, that's crazy. And I'm such a visual person. I was like, okay, yes, I'm seeing where I have gone wrong before. So instead it would be, hey, I'm opening up a dance studio and we are having our grand opening next Thursday. I would love for you to come and check it out. Just come to the event, support me, and give me your feedback, And then, of course, there's those people that we might be a bit scared to approach, maybe friends, family, that we've already done the hyper pitch thing to, or scared of what they'll think, right? And that is a reality. I mean, my dad, he about died when I left pharma to go into network marketing. Like, he's so conservative. And those are probably not the people that you want to go to first. They're not going to be the super duper advocate that you are gonna ask to support you. So how do you approach this hot market? Now, I wanna say this up front, because this approach it's not for everyone. And I'll point out a couple reasons why as I go, but you know, I realized that within Amare, there are a lot of old school network marketers that are very successfully launching their businesses, and they are just making phone calls. You know, I had a conversation with Jeff Breakey recently, and he said, I always lead with the business every time, because one builder is worth about 100 retail customers. And I totally 100% see his point. I also know that I am at this point in my business, as well as in my own personal development and growth, I am not comfortable doing that. And I'm just not, if I'm not comfortable doing it, I'm not going to freaking do it, you know? And so you know, we all have to find a way to show up every day and step up to the batting plate. And so I say that up front because I know that there are a lot of leaders within Amare that will not love what I'm sharing. But everybody has to do it their way. You know, and I'll even say that, like, me not being comfortable doing what, you know, it their way, you know, that led me to, when I would try and do it, Mike always says to me, you've got a posture, you know, you've got to go at it like, you know, I don't care if you join me or not. I'm doing this with or without you. You know, and I'm not there, you know, I have no cockiness right now. You know, and not that he's cocky, he's a humble guy, but you know what I mean? Like, being able to have that posture. So, you know, I realized I have to do this my way or it's not going to happen. And my hope is that this call will help you map out a way that is authentic to you and helps you put your doubt aside and take action every day. Because like Julie said at the beginning of the call, we are just so blessed to be with this company, and the opportunity is huge, and it just is a matter of showing up. Okay, so when you're talking to your hot market and you're inviting them, you're not trying to get them to join your team. And that's why I said what I said just a few minutes ago, because I know that a lot of people do always lead with the business. But you know, this strategy is you just want them to try your product. That's it. When you do this, there are 3 things that are going to happen. They will love the product, and then they will be more open to learning about the business. They will love the product, and they will become a regular customer. And if Julie and Kelly, I know y'all are writing, I'll send you my notes too if you want. Or they won't benefit from the product and they won't ever buy again. Okay. But really, we should all be okay with any 3 of these outcomes, because they did show support. You took action. They took action. And you'll find, you know, people join you as you do this, you know. So anyways, so here's what you do on the phone. All right. This is the script that she, you know, shares. And so it's, hey, Tammy, I just started a new business and I'm super excited about it. I'm not asking you to join or even be a customer. And by doing this, you're putting their guard down so that they are actually going to hear what you say. Now, I'm going to just share real quick that I learned this. I absolutely see the value in this, because as a pharmaceutical rep, having launched lots of new drugs, I will tell you that when I would, you know, doctors' hands are tied to formulary. Like, I don't know if you guys understand, like, that you have a lower copay for a generic drug, and then your second tier copay is for the preferred brand, and then the third tier is for the non-preferred brand. And then actually, a lot of times, drugs can't be written unless the doctor's staff does a prior authorization, which is a pain in the butt and a lot of time, and they don't like to do it. And so launching a product and talking to them about something new, I would say up front, before I talk to you about Movantic, I want you to know that it is on these formularies. Without prior authorization, you can write this. Because otherwise, they weren't even going to hear me. I mean, and Tom would agree, like any pharmaceutical rep that has any brains is always going to like upfront be like, this is available on formulary. So, because the whole time you were talking, they would be thinking, this is great. It sounds perfect, but I can't write it. And so, you know, bring their guard down so they're actually going to be able to hear what you're saying. And so that's the whole point of saying, like, I'm not going to ask you to join my team or be a customer. I'm just wondering if you would help me out. I'm looking for 10 people to try the products for 1 month. Just give it a try and give me your feedback. I just want to learn from my closest friends and family about their personal experience with the product. If you like it, great. If not, then you tried it and that's all I could ask for. And then, you know, she says, if you have a money back guarantee and want to leverage that, you can. And so I just added like, and it's no skin off my back if you decide to use the money back guarantee. I want happy customers. Can I count on you to help me? That last question is the most important part of that entire conversation. And it's going to be the most uncomfortable part of it too. Think about if your best friend came to you and said, can I count on you to help me? What would you do? I mean, unless they're saying, can you buy me a freaking $1,000 plane ticket? Then probably the answer is going to be yes, you know? So this is your friends and family, and they may only do it for a month, but it's building you income for you to then move on to your warm market and then your cold market. And it's also helping you build a community around your team.
Question.
Yes.
So if they agree to try it for 1 month, you don't sign them up as a PC, or would you ask them to do that? You would ask them to do that.
Yes. I learned through my previous experience with the other company is I don't buy people product through my account because I don't want to deal with returns. And like I bought this one product called the Ultimate Reset and had to return it, but I had already done it twice. And they were like, well, why are you returning it? You know, and I had to lie. And so I was like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, people can pay the $25, you know, and if you want, you can offer to reimburse them the $25 PC fee or whatever. I mean, but yeah, no, they're signing up as a customer.
Got it. Understand.
So you're getting sales, you're starting to build a preferred customer base, but you're also building your own story bank, you know, other people's stories with how these products have helped them, which for me, that fuels my belief even more than, you know, just the Fundamental Wellness Be Well group, which is amazing. You know, I always tell people, I dare you to only read three stories when you go in there because it's just so amazing. But it also, you know, when you actually have the experience to help, like Kelly, I think about how much better you are. And I just feel so happy, you know, and it just gives me joy to share your story. So you'll have the product stories, you'll build your bank of recruiting stories and opportunity stories. Cause you know, a problem plus a result equals social proof. And you can always share stories to help people create their own vision in their head. So this also, like, you know, when people ask you, how is the business going for you? You know, when you can tell them, like, last week I had 5 people sign up as a preferred customer and I made X amount of dollars. And they'll, you know, think, oh, maybe I could do this, or wow, that's awesome. And they're going to watch. You know, I always, you know, one thing I learned very quickly in this business, and I'm so glad that it sunk in as quickly as it did, because I can be pretty darn stubborn, and that is no is not no, it's not right now. And people are always watching. I can't tell you how many times I would get on the phone with someone and they'd be like, you know, 5 months ago, I remember you said, and I was like, what? You know, I mean, they're always watching. You know, and then as you bring in people into the business, you turn around and you teach them this same strategy so they don't go and act like weirdos and have the outer circle of the people that they burned, like Tracy has. Okay, so the second way is by text message. And that's, very much a part of how we communicate these days. It's sad. A lot of teenagers are just terrified to make phone calls. Like I make my kids make phone calls every once in a while just because it's a skill that's being lost. You can say something like, hey girl, I just started a new business and I would really like your help. Text me back if you'd be willing to help me. Or you could say, I just started a new business. Text me back if you would be willing to help me, which is different than the previous sentence. I will share this again. I'll share this. Or I just started a new business. Text me back if you can help me for a month. If you can help me out for a month. I kind of like that one because then it doesn't sound like you're going to do something crazy, asking something crazy, because network marketing went through a really ugly puberty period and people are skeptical. It's come a long way, but we still, we have trust to be earned even though we're trustworthy, So, if they say yes, then respond with, I'm looking for 10 trial customers to try my product. I'm not asking you to be a long-term customer or join my team. I simply want my close friends and family to try it and give me feedback. Can I count on you? So you don't go into how amazing it is or how they're going to feel the best they have in years. And, you're not going to have any more anxiety. If they say yes, then you just see if you can get on the phone so that you can help figure out what they are going to start out with. And I'll be honest and clear, like the fundamentals is always where I start, always. I've only had one person just do mood, and that was ridiculously difficult to even get them to do that. I was like, you're like having multiple anxiety attacks a day. I'm like, just put the damn stuff in your purse and pop a couple pills every time you think you're going to lose your lid. Finally, she did it. So, and it's helped. So yeah, I always start there. But, if you ask enough questions and you listen to their answers, you're going to find a pain point that the fundamentals will address. Don't forget that mental wellness continuum, the rainbow sheet. If I get on the phone with someone, I've got it on my over there, and I'll have it in front of me, and I will ask them questions. I try and not be super obvious that I'm trying to figure out like what's your problem, but if you ask enough questions and you listen, people love to talk about themselves. So, good open-ended questions. How do you feel every day? If there was one thing that you could change about your overall feeling of well-being, what would that be? I don't know. I'm at a loss because probably I'm recording. So I'm going to add, let's see. Any questions at this point? You have a question? Okay.
I do. So once they've poured their heart out to you and told you they don't feel good, this is how I feel every day or 4 times a week or whatever, how do you lead them into the products?
So I am working on this. And this is something that I actually learned from one of Sarah's training videos, is people don't want all the details. They don't. Like Kathy, I don't know if you fall into this category, and I'm sorry, but if you hang out with Julie, then you probably do. Julie and Kelly and Tracy like all the details, but most people don't. And so I will say, we now know that how we feel has more to do with what's in our gut than what's in our brain. And so, our fundamentals pack is going to address microbiome, repopulating it with the good bacteria that helps you feel good, helps with gut integrity. If they don't know what that is, you don't even have to say that. It helps with the brain and clarity and concentration. And then, but most importantly, it gets the brain 1 and brain 2 talking again. So you go from brain 1 and brain 2 talking at like 2 bars to a full signal. And that is going to dramatically help you see improvements in whatever it is that they shared with you. And then I would probably shut up and say, how does that sound to you? And, depending on their personality type, they're either going to ask you 100 questions, or they're going to say, how much is it? Or how do we start? So I want to add one little small caveat to this. And I realize that I have said several times as going over the scripts is don't go into the business opportunity. And that is really more for the purpose of not scaring people off. But I am also not assuming no for anyone. So I have adopted something that I am comfortable with. And once someone is genuinely interested in trying the product, I go with what Mike taught me, and he calls it good, better, best. And that's, you can do good, better, or best. It's up to you. You can either sign up as a preferred customer. You can sign up as a wellness partner, because you're probably going to have a handful of family members that you want to share this with. Or you can sign up with a launch pack so that you can access all of the products, get a huge discount, and then you'll also get a bunch of free samples that you can share with people. And that is when Barb, the story I shared earlier, that is when she got weird. But it didn't ruin I didn't lose the battle. I mean, so I'm comfortable with that. I don't, you don't have to do that. You can just say, like, let's get you started on the 1 month supply that I asked you to do, and go from there. Any thoughts? No?
So when you get them started on the 1 month supply, I like that. I like everything so far, and it kind of aligns with how I would probably try to approach people and do when you say, and let's get you started on the 1 month, and when they see that it's a subscribe and save, do you then go into more detail about, well, like it benefits you, it saves you this, it gives you this free, and like, how do you come across with that without giving them too much information?
And that is a perfect segue into what I was going to say next. And that is a critical piece to this is during this 30-day period, you need to follow up with them several times. Like text them maybe 5 days after they place their order. Did it arrive? If so, have they opened the box and started using the product? Because I cannot believe how many people overcomplicate this in their head, and they think it's just going to be this big process. And I'm like, no, open the box, take the lids off all of them. You take 2 of this, and a scoop of this every morning. Put it next to the coffee maker or next to your toothbrush, but start. And then
I have done that with the one child from school that I'm working with. Once the mom got the product, it took her probably 5 days to get him on it, because she said he wasn't feeling good, he was sick. So she got him on it, and I encouraged her to do half dose, and she did that. And then so I have been texting her all along, and she's always thanked me for checking in with her and for following up. And so I check in with her about once a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then maybe like once you get them to get started, text them 3 to 4 days after that. And I always think about it like we're messing with the GI tract, and women do not like you messing with their poo schedule. And so I, how's it going? You know, and they may say, oh my gosh, I haven't pooped since I started. Or they'll say, I'm going to the bathroom more than I ever have. I love it. You know, and then maybe follow up a week after that. You know, and keep in mind, you may have to plant seeds of the benefits that they're going to experience, you know, like you know, instead of how's it going? How are you feeling? You know, you could, and I suggest printing out the PDF of the phased benefits and just having that like available. So you can say like, have you noticed that just things don't rattle you as easily, or, you know, whatever seed you feel like you need to plant. Because sometimes people just are so busy. They, you know, it's kind of like, I bought these awesome flip-flops the other day. Oh my gosh. They're called OOFOS, OOFOS. And they're like walking on a cloud. And I bought them because I've had plantar fasciitis for several months now. And so I wear these all the time. And yesterday I did not put them on all day long. And I forgot, because guess what? My feet feel better, you know, but I didn't even think about it. And when I went to go out last night, I was like, ooh, where's my flip-flops? And I was like, holy cow, I didn't wear them all day. So, you know, and then
Hey, Trace, maybe unmute Kathy for a second and ask her if she has any questions.
How you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing good.
Any questions?
Listening. Not at this point.
Okay.
I guess I'm good. I mean, I'm agreeing. By the way, I'm not as detailed as Julie, for sure.
Okay.
I don't need all the details.
All right.
But anyways, yeah, I'm listening.
All right. I'm going to mute you.
Actually, I turned something off. You might not have to mute me anymore. I turned something off.
Oh, okay. If I see you lighting up, I'll hit the mute button.
Okay.
So, and then I would follow up around day 28 for final thoughts and experience and find out if they would like to order again. And if not, then teach them how to turn off the subscribe and save. Because nothing pisses people off more than an order that they weren't ready for. Colleen, I'm pretty sure she put like a document in Amare's 100K team of like an instructions to send to someone on how to do that, which is so easy, but blows my mind that people be like, how do I turn it off? Click around. So, and then I would just say, you know, be sure to document all of your conversations, like keep a Google spreadsheet so that as you start to gain more stories, you know, you can organize those stories, you know, and put them into categories so that it's easier to access. So yeah, that is your hot market. I think I would love to do warm market next, if you guys would like me to do that. Yes? Okay. All right, so listen, it's time to try this. Like this weekend, okay? Maybe not today, I don't know, but think of 5 or 10 people that you can reach out to. And, you know, figure out what your angle is going to be. Hi, baby. Think about what your angle is going to be. Text me if you need, or Voxer me or whatever, if you want ideas or want to bounce ideas. But it might be uncomfortable at first, but did you die? No. And you got to start somewhere. And like, y'all take yourselves off mute and just tell me, does this feel like it's giving you permission to be more authentic and not weird? And is it going to make it more comfortable for you to bring people to the middle?
It is for me, Tracy, because I love the part about just focusing on, can you help me out? Can you be like a trial customer for 1 month? To me, that sounds very, very different from what I normally, you know, I'm looking at, okay, this is going to be a customer and they're going to be like for the long haul, and that puts people off. So if you I present it like that, I think it's going to be much more comfortable for me to share that.
Yeah, it's like instead of saying, it's nice to meet you, will you marry me? It's nice to meet you, would you like to have a drink?
Yeah.
You know, and although that is such a drastic, that, you know, that's, some people are just that weird.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to end the recording and then we can chitty chat for a sec.